We've all been there walking through those massive warehouse doors, dodging giant carts filled with 48 packs of toilet paper, and feeling that unmistakable pull toward the smell of fresh dough and salty hot dogs. The Costco Food Court is basically a national treasure at this point. It's South the place where inflation goes to die, and where you can feed a family of four for about the same price as a fancy latte. But while most people just stand in line, grab their slice of pepperoni, and head home, there's a whole hidden world behind that counter. I'm talking about the hacks, the secret menu items, and the operational quirks that only the people wearing the aprons actually know about. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 13 Costco food court secrets that will completely change the way you shop and eat. If you've ever wondered how to get the freshest food possible or why certain items suddenly vanish only to reappear months later with a twist, stick around, because we're diving deep into the inner workings of the world's most famous warehouse kitchen. Before we get into the heavy hitters, do me a quick favor. If you live for a good Costco run, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're constantly digging up the best ways to save you money and make your life a little easier. And having you in the community means we can keep bringing you these deep dives. Now, let us talk about the biggest shift happening in the food court right now, something that has divided the fan base more than the loss of the combo pizza ever did. If you've noticed a different taste in your cup lately, you are in tea crazy. First, after years of being a Pepsi house, Costco is officially making the massive transition back to Coca-Cola products across all U.S. locations in 2025. For a lot of us, this is the ultimate win. There's just something about a classic Mexican Coke or a crisp Diet Coke that pairs perfectly with a quarter-pound hot dog. Employees have been preparing for this rollout for months, and while it's a logistical nightmare to swap out all those lines and fountainheads, the word from the inside is that the decision was driven by member feedback. People wanted their Coke back, and in the world of Costco, the member is king. So, if your local warehouse hasn't made the switch yet, keep an eye on those fountain labels. The change is coming to every single store by the end of this year. Speaking of that legendary hot dog, let's get into the stuff they don't put on the menu boards. You might think the menu is limited to what's glowing on the screen above the registers, but the secret menu at Costco is very real. It just requires a little bit of assembly on your part. Second, you have to try what the employees call the forbidden glizzy. It sounds like something from an internet fever dream, but it's a legitimate cult classic among the staff. Here's the play. You order a hot dog combo and a chicken bake. You take the hot dog out of its bun. Don't worry, you're still getting the soda. So it's a value, and you slide that dog right into the center of the chicken bake. The creamy Caesar dressing, the bacon bits, and the melted cheese of the chicken bake wrap around the hot dog to create this absolute flavor bomb that is honestly a little bit life-changing. It's messy, it's probably a week's worth of sodium, but it's the ultimate insider meal. If you want to take it a step further, some people even wrap their hot dog in a slice of cheese pizza, creating what's known as the Costco taco. It's these kinds of combinations that keep the food court exciting even if you've been going there for 20 years. Of course, the real stars of the show are the pizzas. We've all seen those massive 18-inch pies coming out of the ovens, but there's a specific way to ensure you're getting the best possible slice. Third, if you want a slice that is peak freshness, we're talking stretchy cheese and a crust that hasn't started to get that heat lamp chew. You should actually ask the employee if you can get a slice from a whole pizza that just came out. Most of the time, the slices sitting in the warming tray are perfectly fine, but during slower hours, they can sit there longer than you'd think. Employees generally don't mind grabbing you a fresh one if a new pie has just hit the cutting board. Or better yet, if you're with a group, just order the whole pizza at the kiosk when you first walk into the warehouse. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting until they've finished their 2-hour shopping marathon to place their pizza order. By then, the line is 20 people deep, and the wait for a whole pie is 30 minutes. If you order at the moment you pass the membership desk, it'll be coming out of the oven exactly as you're pushing your cart toward the exit. It's all about the timing. While we're on the subject of timing and menu changes, we have to talk about the great sandwich revival of 2025. For years, members mourned the loss of the hot turkey and provolone sandwich. It was a staple that disappeared during the pandemic, replaced by various iterations of roast beef or cold turkey sandwiches that, quite frankly, didn't always hit the mark. But fourth, the secret is finally out. The hot turkey and provolone is back, but with a modern update that employees are raving about. Instead of the old pesto, the new version features a basil garlic mayo that is significantly more flavorful and keeps the bread from getting soggy. The reason this matters is that it signals a shift in how Costco is approaching its food court menu. They're moving away from the simplified pandemic-era offerings and getting back to the high-quality, hot-pressed sandwiches that people actually want to eat. It's a bit pricier than the hot dog, usually landing around the $6.99 mark, but the portion size is massive. Employees often suggest sharing it, or saving half for later, because it's surprisingly filling. I know some of you are probably thinking, wait, how do I even get into the food court if I'm not a member anymore? This is a point of huge contention lately. For a long time, the food court was the one place where the members' only rule was a bit fuzzy, especially at warehouses with outdoor windows. But fifth, that era is officially coming to a close. In 2025, Costco has tightened the screws on membership enforcement at the food court. Most locations now require you to scan your membership card at the kiosk before you can even see the menu. There's a rumor floating around that you can just use a Costco shop card to get in, and while that is technically true for shopping in the warehouse, the food court kiosks are becoming increasingly integrated with the membership database. If you're a regular, you've probably noticed the staff being a bit more vigilant about checking cards at the door, too. They aren't trying to be difficult, it's just that the food court is a loss leader. They actually lose money on things like the hot dog and the soda to keep members coming back, so they want to make sure those perks are going to the people actually paying the annual dues. It's a fair trade-off for a $1.50 lunch, right? Moving right along, let us get into the stuff that really separates the casual shoppers from the true Costco pros. Once you've navigated the membership scanners and secured your spot at the kiosk, you might think you're limited to the standard condiments sitting out in the open. But here's the sixth secret that'll make your next meal a whole lot better. There are hidden condiments you can actually ask for at the window. Back in the day, every Costco had those crank-style onion dispensers that were basically the stuff of legend. While those largely disappeared for hygiene reasons, most locations still have pre-portioned deli cups of freshly diced onions and even sauerkraut tucked away behind the counter. They don't usually leave them sitting out anymore because, let's be honest, people were taking home enough onions to stock a pantry. But if you ask the employee nicely when you pick up your hot dog, they'll almost always hand over a couple of those little cups for free. It's a small detail, but a hot dog just isn't the same without that crunch. Now, let us talk about the chicken bake, the unsung hero of the food court that is basically a meal and a half in one handheld sleeve. If you've ever noticed that your chicken bake tastes slightly different depending on which warehouse you visit, you aren't imagining things. Seventh, while the filling is standardized, the way they are dressed is often where the employee skill comes in. These things are hand-rolled in the morning by the prep crew, brushed with Caesar dressing, and topped with a heavy dusting of Parmesan cheese. The secret here is that the baked-on cheese crust is the best part. If you're at the window and you see a tray with one that looks particularly crispy or well done, you can absolutely request that specific one. Employees know that the extra toasty ones are the fan favorites. Also, here's an insider tip for the health-conscious or as health-conscious as you can be at a food court. You can actually buy these in a frozen box in the warehouse aisles, but they are not the same. The ones in the food court are made with fresh dough, while the frozen ones use a different crust for shelf life. If you want the real deal, you've got to get it hot from the window. Speaking of things being the real deal, we have to address the great cookie versus churro debate that took over the internet recently. Eighth, the introduction of the giant double chocolate chunk cookie was a massive pivot for Costco. It officially replaced the churro, which broke a lot of hearts, but the secret to the cookie is all in the temperature. These things are served warm for a reason. They are packed with a ridiculous amount of butter and two types of chocolate that turn into a gooey mess if they sit too long. If you get a cookie and it feels a bit room temp, Don't be afraid to ask for a warm one. But hear us the real employee-level hack, the cookie sundae. You order the vanilla soft serve and a cookie, then you crumble that warm, gooey cookie right into the ice cream. It's better than any dessert you'll find at a fast food chain, and it's still under $5. The staff sees people doing this all the time, and they usually give you a slightly larger cup for your ice cream if you mention you're going to mix in a cookie. Before we move on to the operational secrets, I want to take a second to remind you guys to share this video with your favorite shopping buddy. We all have that one friend who refuses to leave Costco without a slice of pizza, and they need to know these hacks. Plus, sharing a video helps us grow and keep bringing you these deep dives into the brands you love. Now, let's talk about the ninth secret, the logic behind those rotating menu items. Have you ever noticed how the berry sundae suddenly gets replaced by a strawberry scoop, or how the mango smoothie comes and goes? This isn't just random inventory management. Costco uses the food court as a testing ground for products they might want to sell in bulk in the warehouse. If a specific fruit topping or a new smoothie flavor performs exceptionally well at the food court, there's a high chance you'll see that exact ingredient hit the freezer or pantry aisles a few months later. Employees often get a heads up on these test runs and can tell you if a new item is a permanent addition or just a passing fancy. If you love a seasonal item, buy it often. The votes are counted by the registers, and that's how they decide what stays. Since we're talking about how things are run, let us get into the 10th secret, which is all about the pizza phone. Yes, it's a real thing. Every Costco food court has a dedicated phone line specifically for whole pizza orders. Most people don't realize they can call ahead while they're still at home or stuck in traffic. This is the ultimate pro move during the Super Bowl, Halloween, or even just a busy Friday night. If you call 20 minutes before you arrive, you can walk straight to the whole pizza pickup window, bypass the massive line of people waiting for single slices, and be out the door in seconds. Employees actually prefer this because it helps them manage the oven flow. There's nothing a food court worker hates more than someone ordering 5 whole pizzas at the kiosk during a rush without any warning. Calling ahead makes their life easier and your pizza fresher. Just remember, they only hold it for a certain amount of time before it goes into the slice rotation, so don't be late. One thing that really surprises people is just how clean those kitchens actually are. 11th, the cleaning protocols at a Costco food court are arguably stricter than most 5-star restaurants. Every single night, the entire place is basically dismantled. The soda nozzles are soaked, the ovens are scrubbed with specialized degreasers, and the floors are power washed. If you ever see an employee taking a long time to fulfill a simple soda order, it might be because they're doing a midday line flush to ensure the syrup-to-carbonation ratio is perfect. They take a weird amount of pride in the quality of the product, which is why the soda always tastes so much crisper there than at a gas station. It's also why you'll rarely see a broken ice cream machine at Costco. They have a preventative maintenance schedule that is strictly enforced by corporate. They know that a broken machine means unhappy members, and in the Costco world, that's the ultimate sin. We've covered the secret menu builds and the hidden condiments, but now it's time to talk about the internal logic of the food court, the stuff that involves the actual numbers and the things employees see that drive them a little crazy. 12th, let's look at the pricing and the price tag code. You might have heard about the asterisk of death on items in the warehouse aisles, but the food court has its own version of this. While prices at the food court stay incredibly stable, $1.50 hot dog, you should pay close attention to the decimal points on any special or limited time items. Generally, if you see a price ending in .99, it's a standard corporate mandated price. However, if you ever see a price ending in .00 or .88, it often means the manager is trying to move that inventory fast, usually because a new menu item is about to launch and they need the space. This happens most often with the seasonal desserts or the rotating sandwiches. It's the ultimate buy it now signal because once that inventory is gone, that specific version of the item might not come back for years. While we're talking about items that come and go, we have to address the 13th secret, the truth about the rotisserie chicken hack. If you spend any time on social media, you've probably seen people buying a Caesar salad from the food court, walking over to the deli to grab a $4.99 hot rotisserie chicken, and shredding it into the bowl to make a giant chicken Caesar salad. On paper, it's a genius value move. But from an employee's perspective, there's a right and a wrong way to do this. First off, please don't do the actual shredding at the food court tables. It creates a massive mess that the food court staff has to clean up, and because they are often running on a skeleton crew, it really slows down the turnover for other members. Second, the real secret is that the food court Caesar salad is actually designed to be a base. Employees will tell you off the clock, of course, that the dressing they use in the food court is often a higher-tier version of the bottled stuff in the aisles. If you want to do the chicken hack, take the salad and the chicken home. The steam from the chicken in the car actually wilts the romaine just enough to let the dressing soak in, making it taste way better than if you ate it cold in the warehouse. Beyond the food hacks, there is the secret of the golden hour. If you've ever wondered when you can get the absolute best service and the freshest food without the chaos, it's not when the doors first open. Usually, the first hour of the day is a mad dash of people who want to eat before they shop. Instead, the golden hour is typically Tuesday or Wednesday between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. This is the sweet spot. The lunch rush has completely died down, the dinner rush hasn't started, and the employees are usually doing their midday prep. Because they aren't slammed, they are much more likely to give you a heavy pour on your strawberry sundae or take that extra second to find the biggest slice of pepperoni pizza in the window. It's also the best time to ask questions about new menu items or ask for those extra onions without feeling like you're holding up a line of 50 angry shoppers. Now, I have to let you in on something a little more serious regarding how the food court operates behind the scenes. You might notice that the staff in the food court seems to be moving at 100 miles per hour. That's because they are tracked on transaction times. Even though it's a warehouse and not a traditional fast food joint, they have goals to hit. If you want to be an absolute legend of a member, have your membership card or your app QR code ready before you reach the kiosk or the window. Every second you spend fumbling for your wallet is a second that counts against their metrics. Being prepared doesn't just help them, it keeps the entire machine running smoothly for everyone else. And honestly, a little kindness goes a long way. These workers handle hundreds of hungry people an hour. A simple "thank you" or "I appreciate the hard work" can genuinely make their day, especially during a holiday rush. Before we wrap this up, let us talk about the future. I mentioned the big switch to Coca-Cola earlier, but that's just the beginning. 2025 is shaping up to be a year of massive modernization for the Costco Food Court. We're starting to see more smart kiosks that can handle customizations like asking for a well-done pizza directly on the screen, and even talk of mobile ordering through the Costco app in select test markets. The goal is to make the food court as efficient as the rest of the warehouse. But even with all the new tech, the heart of the experience is still that incredible value. Whether it's the $1.50 hot dog that the founder famously vowed to never raise the price of, or the giant new chocolate chip cookies, the food court remains the soul of the Costco experience. It's been a blast breaking these down for you. From the forbidden glizzy to the pizza phone and the secret onion cups, you're now officially more informed than 99% of the people standing in that line. Next time you're pushing your cart toward the exit, try out one of these tips and see the difference for yourself. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world's favorite warehouse kitchen, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss another video. We've got plenty more insider guides coming your way, covering everything from the best-kept secrets in the electronics department to how to find the real deals in the pharmacy. Thanks so much for watching and for being part of this community. Your support is what allows us to keep digging for these facts and sharing them with the world. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these secrets surprised you the most? Or do you have a Costco food court hack of your own that I missed? Let us get a conversation going down below. Until next time, enjoy that $1.50 hot dog and happy shopping.